Welcome to Motherhood. Whether you're 18 or 80, Dr. Christina Hibbert, clinical psychologist, author, and mother of 6, is here to help you through the ups and downs, the joys and frustrations, the new information from experts, and the stories of happiness and heartbreak from real moms. Remember, if you can, tell your mama to listen too.
And I'll make everything all right.
Here's Christy.
Welcome to Motherhood, everybody. It's me, Dr. Christina Hibbert, here to help you overcome, to become, and to flourish as we strive to live our true potential as mothers, right? And we're here on Motherhood Radio to talk about today, how can we do that? How can we, first of all, discover what our true potential is and understand it, and then reach that potential, both as women and as mothers and in our families and in our work and whatever else it is that we need to do, right? So before we get into today's topic, I just want to thank you for being here with us. I hope you've joined our Facebook group at Growing Through Motherhood on Facebook. Ask to join us there, and we'd love to have you. And also visit my website, drchristinahibbert.com, for more on the things we'll talk about today. I love talking about discovering your potential, fulfilling your life's purpose, these big issues, personal growth. This is how we grow. This is kind of like my general theme, I guess, and all the things that I do. So you can find some great resources for these things that we're talking about today on my website. So be sure to check that out. Also, I want to let you know about a cool new opportunity for all of you to work with me on your own personal transformation. Now, as I record this, it's the beginning of a new year, and it's the time when we all start thinking of what are our goals and what are our resolutions, what are we trying to do with our lives at this point, and how are we going to change, right? But beyond that, hopefully we want to transform our lives. Now, what would that be like? What would that look like for you this year? As we're talking today about discovering your potential and living your full potential, I want you to think about how you can transform your lives and which areas of your life need that transformation, whether it be physical transformation you're looking for, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, or some combination of those things. And I want to tell you about, real quick, my new website, exercise2mentalhealth.com. So exercise2mentalhealth.com, where you can find information about my brand new Exercise to Mental Health Personal Transformation Coaching course. So this is a way for you to work directly with me to be able to work on all the things we'll be talking about today. So I hope you'll go visit that new website, check out this course, and hopefully join us with this group. You'll get to be part of an exclusive Facebook group for the course, and where you can get some support. And of course, you'll be learning with me for 6 weeks. So it's a really incredible opportunity, and I hope you'll check that out as well. All right, enough of all that stuff. Now, before we introduce our guest for today, as I mentioned, we're talking today about our potential. And when we think about potential as moms, there are some different ways we can look at it. We can look at it as, what is our purpose as a mom? So let me ask you that. I want you to think about that for a minute. What is your purpose as a mom? You might think it is to give birth to or adopt or raise children. It might be to teach your children. It might be to inspire your children. It might be to XYZ, fill in the blank, right? Now, beyond that, what is your life's purpose? Okay? And what kind of potential do you have outside of being a mom, or in addition to that, I guess I would say? That might include a career or work opportunity. It might include, volunteer work and service. Definitely should include that. It definitely includes your talents, your abilities. And let me ask you this. Is it easy to answer that question, to say, yes, I have these different things that I have great potential in, and I've reached my potential in some, but I have other areas I'm struggling in? Or is it hard for you? Is it hard for you to hear what I'm asking you and to be able to quickly answer, yes, I have great potential in these things. I have great potential as a mom I can be a great mom, or I am a great mom, and I'm going to be even better. How do you really feel when I say, are you reaching that potential? Do you know what it is, and are you reaching that? Now, I want to acknowledge that some of you are going to be feeling like you are doing well. You know, some of you are going to be feeling like, yeah, I feel like I'm on the path to reaching my potential. Now, I don't think it's something that we just do or don't do. It's not something that we just have done and check it off our list, right? It's an ongoing process, as we'll talk about today. But I know there are going to be many of you who are feeling like I'm not reaching my potential. You know, I feel like I'm struggling as a mom. I feel like I get too angry. I'm too tired. I'm not doing the best job I can do right now because of these other things in my life. And sometimes it might be that you're having some real struggles in your life that are interfering. And sometimes it might be that you're ready for a change. You know, you're at a new phase of life and you're ready for a change. Whatever it might be, and wherever you are, today's show's for you, okay? Because I want to tell you 100%, you'll hear this over and over again today, that each one of us has incredible potential, not only as moms, which is the most important job and never-ending job, and it's really important that we recognize our potential and strive to fulfill that potential as moms, but also as individuals, as women. Women are so powerful in this world. We are such a force, we can be, if we will be willing to step up and fulfill that potential that lies in each of us. And I know that 100%. So if you don't believe it yet, try to at least listen and believe in my words until they can become your own. And today we're going to focus on exactly what we can do to lean in to our potential and beyond. All right, so I'm really excited to have with me today Susie Kilby. Susie, welcome to Motherhood.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Christy. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
It's so fun to get to talk to you again. I was part of one of Susie's events that she did, an online virtual summit, and she reached out again, and I was excited to have her on the show, and she's doing another event coming up, which we'll tell you about in a minute. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Susie. So Susie is a success coach and a business strategist for women. She believes that every one of our lives has a unique and compelling purpose, and so do I, and that's what we're talking about today. And she wants women to lean into their full potential and live their true calling with abundance and grace. She is also a homeschooling mom of 2 beautiful children. She's a wife, she's an entrepreneur, and she's continually energized by the unique and glorious potential that life offers for each of us and committed to supporting women in living our truest, most authentic lives and realizing our greatest fulfillment. I'm all about all of that. So I love that. I'm with you. We're going to do well today. We're going to be, and also you can visit her website, Susie, S-U-S-Y, Kilby, Kilby.com for her newsletter you can sign up for and to get more information on her upcoming series, which is From Part-Time to Powerhouse, Prosperity Strategies for Heart-Centered Coaches and Healers. And you can register for that video series at susiekilby.com/prosperity strategies. Got it? Is that right?
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Well, let's just jump right in. So we're talking today about leaning into our true potential. So in that phrase right there, there's 2 separate ideas I'd like us to focus on. First of all, our true potential, and secondly, what it means to lean into that. So first of all, I think a lot of women get stuck when it comes to saying, go and, find your potential and use your potential. And a lot of us, especially as moms, we get so overwhelmed with life and responsibilities, we don't even know what that is. So what do you have to say about women that are wondering, what does that even mean, finding my potential?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dr. Christy, because I came from corporate before I was in coaching. And so I completely understand the whole notion of the striving to become better. And I really am not all about the striving to become better because I really think we already are enough. So when we're leaning into our potential, it's just really, to me, all about settling into who we are and getting really comfortable and grounded into who are we, not who we think we should be. What should we be chasing, or what should we be doing in life? It's really kind of getting intimate with ourselves.
I like that. I really like that. I've never heard it put that way, being intimate with ourselves, getting to know ourselves better on that deeper level. But I think what you're saying is so true. So many of us think it means I have to go out there and strive and achieve and become something that people think I should be or that I've thought I should be. But
that's not what you're saying at all.
That's right. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with, I mean, hey, I have my degrees and I have my certifications, and I'm all about lifelong learning.
Yeah.
But just not doing it to try to become something, to reach something that you think that you should become. Like to get in order to feel like you're then enough once you have X, Y, Z, and whatever that is that you're getting feedback from the outside world to become. I'm all about really grounding into our true callings and our true inklings. And we all actually have them. It's just a matter of getting good at listening for them. Mm-hmm. And then actually, when you hear them, believing them and tuning into that. And then, practicing making decisions and choices from that place. So it's really about quieting the chaos or the interference in our lives, mm-hmm. and kind of going within. And that doesn't have to be meaning that you have to become a monk and leave your family, because there's a lot of chaos in family.
That's right.
I know. And you know.
We know. We all know.
We all know, right? And it's not about that at all. It's just about kind of maybe bringing in some rituals or practices, or even just calming down your mind to shift a little bit more about what am I feeling right now in this moment? What is my inner wisdom telling me? And that small shift is actually a big shift versus reacting constantly to everything that's coming at us, really taking a chance to slow down and feel into it, mm-hmm. and responding. Yeah.
I love that, not reacting, but sort of stopping and taking charge. Because I do feel like as moms, it's so easy for us to just react to whatever is happening around us.
Yeah.
It is chaos, you know?
Mm-hmm. And when I say this, it's not because I perfected this and this is how my life looks. It's that I really do, I really work hard on this path of becoming and living that way. Mm-hmm. Reacting is like just something that we kind of have to do sometimes. We have to make quick decisions and react. Your child is on the counter. You're going to run over and grab them. There's a place for that. That's really like, that has to happen. But it's also just from slowing down when you have opportunities or decisions to make that are really, that have the potential to really affect your life and how you want to live it. Mm-hmm. That's where I would invite our moms listening to slow down and to really settle into thinking about how would that make me feel if I did this or that, and knowing that you can make space and time for this, that you actually don't, our society, I feel like it wants instant responses. You get someone texting you and there's that urgency, that sense of urgency, mm-hmm. but it's okay to create some space for yourself to take that leadership and to take the the reins of your life and to make some space.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to like breathe and to think about what it is I really want to do here. And again, this is not when your toddler's going to fall off the counter. This is, it's being able to carve out. Mm-hmm.
That's right. And I like how you almost said the word control, and I said it, but I didn't really want to say it. Like, you probably feel the same about that, because it's not like we can really control things. But I liked how you said taking the reins and taking leadership and taking ownership of your life and your potential and where you are and where you want to be and where you're not, and mm-hmm. all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm with you on the control thing. We can't control, but we can control how we respond. That's what we can take our power back. And that's where I love working with women and realizing that that's where they can come back and say, okay, I can choose here how I respond or what I want to do in the situation, but you can't control what's, external circumstances. Yeah. And we all know that sometimes they can be really tough, but it's empowering to know that we do have choices that we can make. And just even that, bringing a little bit of that back into us can help us to feel like a little bit better about what's going on. Just to know that there's choices. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I agree. I think it is really about choices. And when we talk about balance, even, I always say it's not about balance. It's about choices that help you feel balanced, and this is about choices that help you feel like you are living the life you want to live, or as you say, the abundant life, or, feeling fulfilled with your roles as both a mother and outside of that role, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just about this. And today we're not just talking about your potential to go out and start a business or do something. I mean, that's part of it, but we're also talking about our potential as mothers and as wives and as friends and as in our relationships as well.
Yeah, like who are we meant, who are we here to be? Who are we being as we go through all of these things in life, all these different roles that we're in? Who are we being as we are the mom and as we are the wife? And if we have a business or choose to start a business, who are we being in that? Because it's just really easy to be really harried and just think, well, I have to do this right now or I have to do that right now. But who are we being? We can really bring our values into who we're being. And if we're conscious about it, that's like a legacy of light to me. That's the big thing in life. You know, it's much more than, oh, I had this business and I raised my kids. It's like our legacy of light is who we were as we did all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so true. I always say that it's more about how you're being while you're doing. You know, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it, or how you're being while you're doing it, as you say. And I think that's really important for us to realize. We're not just here talking about even, you know, some of us might need to make some changes. Some of us might like where we are. But as far as, you know, the doing part of what we're trying to do in our life, but we can all definitely improve some more of the being in each of those things that we're doing, right? And that's part of our potential. It's not just about those physical acts that we do, but it's about, like you're saying, how we're doing them and who we become.
Yeah. And I would even go further to say that's the root of it all is how we are being in all these things that everything can grow from. That's really the focus of when women come to me and they want some help with their businesses. I have tons of strategy, right? Yeah. And you can find all kinds of strategy in many different places. But what we really start with is the inner work, because without that inner work, then any kind of strategy that you do, it won't be effective, or you won't be able to use it to get the results that you want, because it really does start with ourselves and everything. And that can either be scary to hear, or it can be empowering to hear, to think, wow, so then I really do have, I can really take this and work with this. I don't have to be, you know, a victim or be on the waves of life, tossed and turned.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I love that. And what the word that keeps coming to my mind as you're saying all this is kind of intentional. You know, this idea of intentional living versus, like you say, letting it all happen to us and just kind of going with the flow, which we all, as moms, we all get caught up in from time to time. And sometimes, like you say, we have to ride the waves until we get on the shore, hopefully. But But having that intention, and I'm thinking, you know, I wanted to hear a little bit about your experience working with women, because I know that I've found working with women and mothers in particular, it really does require that conscious, intentional thought process and work in order to know that you are living according to your true potential, or to even know what that potential is, or to know what you should be doing and how you should be being. It doesn't just, I don't feel like it just happens, you know, it is something we have to actually focus on and work on.
I completely agree. I completely agree. And, you know, I was thinking before we got on this interview, just reflecting back on a bit of my journey. And one of the things that I love to bring into, like, to remind myself of, is that life is happening for me. And I was kind of laughing to myself, because not only did I didn't always know that. And if you told me that some time ago, I wouldn't have believed it.
Yes.
To be honest. Okay. Because, you know, like when I was in the thick of it and really struggling with some different things, like work, family, grief, we bring it all in. I really didn't believe at the time that life was happening for me. I really felt like if you weren't paddling as hard as you could or swimming as hard as you could, then you were just going to sink, and you need to try in life. That was sort of the way I looked at things. And I really shifted to see that all the things that are going on in my life, you know, they're just a way of correcting me. And I'm actually getting better at accepting all these corrections, and accepting, you know, that it's not just all about me, that everyone else has their stuff going on too.
Yes.
In their lives, right? And that we all kind of fit together as a mosaic, and it's not always going to be exactly the way I like to see the mosaic look.
Right.
But when things happen, you know, something doesn't work out the way I want it to, if whatever, my business, whatever, that it's usually a correction. It's bringing me back. It's saying, well, that wasn't really a good fit.
Yes.
yeah. And so it's a chance to reflect and to see, okay, what is it that I need to learn from this, and how can I do this differently next time? And it kind of brings you back on path. So.
And I so agree with that. I so agree that it's often our hardest experiences that do put us on the right path, right? And I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm wondering if you'd be willing to share a little bit of your personal, you mentioned grief, and you and I talked a little bit after the interview I did for you about some of our experiences with that. And I just think it helps for our listeners, for the moms, to know that we all go through stuff. This isn't about just, you look so successful, you're out there helping other people be successful, and you are, but you've had a lot to overcome as well.
Yeah. And yes. And that is something that I really try to be so transparent about, because I know what it's like to look at other people who have the definition of what we are defining as success at this moment.
Yeah.
And think, well, they have it all put together, I could never get there, But the truth is, we are all human, and we all have various experiences that are human experiences. And yeah, definitely. So I had the experience of losing a child, going through a pregnancy where I didn't know if our baby was going to survive or not, and just really having a lot of hope, And what adds to it is that this baby, as much as I see her as mine, I was carrying her from my sister. So I was a surrogate mama to this baby who was so loved by both of our families. And, we lost her. She only lived for 8 hours. And my faith in what I thought to be true in life, that the beliefs that I held strong to, were completely tested by that happening. And I really had to recreate my world again, and, top to bottom, side to side. And when you have no grounding underneath you, it's a really frightening place to be. And as challenging and as difficult as that experience was and still is in our life, I can now see it as an opportunity for me. It was a time for me to come back down to ground zero, to what was really important, and to let go of a lot of things that I was holding on to that just weren't important in my life. And I won't pretend to know why Adelaide died and didn't live, but one of the gifts that came from her being with us was that it really shifted my perspectives and my priorities in life. And so I can hold on to, the little gems that came through her and that I value so much, and I thank her for. It's a legacy of her. And that's really what put me on the path to coaching other women. This experience that I went through, and how when I reached out for help, that was one of the first times in my life that I actually reached out for help. I was so used to just going it on my own before then. I really had that protective coding of not wanting to let people know what was going on with me. But when this happened, I absolutely had to let in help. And that was a huge change for me. And it was a gift from Adelaide to be able to move myself to a place where I was completely vulnerable. And it just changed my path in life. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I know that experience, like I said, was very powerful for you, and has, like you said, deeply impacted your life. That's why I wanted you to share, because I know so many listening, you guys can relate to Susie's experience, or in some way or another. But I really appreciated what you said about, first of all, the legacy of Adelaide, and then also that gift of kind of being brought back to ground zero, and how it is really that it's like a turn in your road that you weren't expecting, but it set you off on the path to where you are now. And it does show you your potential. It shows you that you can overcome these things, that you can live again and thrive again. And
yeah. And someone told me in my life earlier that, I remember listening to things that would happen, stories that people had gone through, and thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know. I wouldn't never be able to live. What would you even do? It'd be so devastating. Yeah. It would kill me. And then it's incredible to see what you can actually survive,
Absolutely.
as well. It's incredible to see what we can we can come through, and we are incredibly resilient as human beings. Our spirit is really strong. And
Absolutely. And I think as we embrace that, you know, like you say, look for those gifts. And I feel the same. I used to tell my kids that when we were going through our grief process, it was kind of like, there's gifts, you know, there are definitely gifts here. We just have to look for them and find them and collect them. And then to embrace sort of how that changes you, or to see your resilience, or to see these qualities in yourself. That is your potential right there. You know, it's just a glimpse into what you're capable of.
Yeah, that's so true, Dr. Christy. And anyone listening right now who's going through grief, to know though that, you know, there was a time when if someone said to me, you need to look for the gifts, I would have cursed them.
I know.
I just want to be so honest about this.
No, that is so true. I'm with you on that.
If you're listening and you're thinking, listen, lady, like, shove it. I get it.
Yes, absolutely.
This is definitely
that comes later. That comes later.
Process. It's a process, but know that you can get there. Like, at least know that like you say, that potential in us is just incredible, and we are actually capable of so much more than what we think we are.
Yes, absolutely. And I am so with you on that.
I know. Yeah. I know you are. Yeah. So
glad you said that. It's like the last thing you want to hear when you're in the midst of it, but hopefully you keep it in the back of your head for later when you're ready, you know, because it's true.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we know that we all have great potential. We know that our hard times can be part of helping us see some of that. How else can we start to see what our potential is for those who are listening and going, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not good enough, or I just feel like I don't see that in myself, or I don't know what I want from life, or how I want to be. I'm just trying to keep up. Where do we begin? Because I feel like we can't lean into it until we start to see it, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And also I want, know everyone to know that I didn't wake up, or wasn't born like, oh my gosh, this is my trajectory in life.
Right.
So clear on what I want to do.
None of us was. Most of us weren't. Most of us were not. That's
right. Yeah. The murkiness is something that we all have to sit with as humans as well. The murkiness and the unknown. And what I would invite women to do is to really just slow down and to start with something as simple as a gratitude practice for what they really, it just puts you in a frame of mind of noticing things. And I think that noticing is where we can start, right? Noticing what feels really good to us, what we really appreciate, what's really beautiful.
Yes.
So a daily gratitude practice can be as simple or as elaborate as you want it to be. It can be as simple as waking up in the morning, and I know if you have young children, your kids probably wake you up, or you're probably up all night and you're not going to sleep.
Right.
So it could be when you're rocking your toddlers or your babies, or you're in your kid's bed, and you even just like notice their warmth, their bodies beside you, and you think, wow, they're here, they're now, I'm here now. It can be as simple as that. Or you can evolve it to, having a routine where when you wake up or before you go to bed, spending a moment to really to think about, 3 things in your day that you have gratitude for or appreciation for. And it could be as simple as seeing the stars through your window at night. Mm-hmm. It could be much more for your family, for the love that you felt that day, for something that happened. But I feel like this simple practice really shifts the perspective, and it helps to retrain our minds to notice good things.
Yes.
And I think it's a really good starting point. Yeah.
I agree. You have to pay attention, and it trains us to pay attention, to see the good. Mm-hmm. Because as I always say, the joy in motherhood is found in moments. So you have to see the good moments, because most of it's like crap, but then you have all these beautiful moments in between all the crap. And if you can see those, then you connect the dots, and then it's like, oh, motherhood is great and beautiful. But if we don't see that, we miss it. And also that goes for ourselves too, to see our strengths, to see the things, I'm grateful for this talent that I was able to use today. I was able to help somebody or talk to somebody or whatever I was able to do. And that can be a definite clue to the potential that we have to see ourselves, really. I think as moms, we sometimes just don't even see ourselves. We become in one with our children, mm-hmm. and we don't even know who we are really, or see what's in us at all.
I totally. And I've so been there as well. And I think there's seasons of our life when that's just kind of how it is. Like, And we can just, if we can ground into that, knowing that this is the season of how it is, and try to and make the most of where we are in this moment in time.
Yeah.
Knowing that the season will change, things will change and pass. And but we always keep the intention of, those little ideas of things that you enjoy. And then how can I slowly incorporate them in as things start to change, with the young children, or when you have opportunities for someone to come and watch your kids for an hour, even like, what could I do with this time other than trust me, I know my mind goes 100 million laundry.
I know.
Dishes.
Am I going to work?
I can clean up the kids' clothes and buy them new ones. Oh,
that's
no.
right. That's right. That's right.
And there may be times you just want to do that and have the nap. Yeah. Oh, and then the nap is actually like that could be amazing.
Yes.
But yeah, just know that, there's sometimes when you really aren't going to be able to just, don't beat yourself up for the fact that you're not going to be launching a new business when you have a bunch of young children, or if something's happening in your family right now where they need your attention to be present with what's going on right now. And then to notice when the opportunities arise where you could ask for some more support, or some support has come your way, or something has shifted and it's made room for these inklings or these dreams or these ideas that you have.
Yeah, I love that. And I know that it's important to have that support. And I want to touch on that in a second. One thing I want to suggest, because when I said earlier that, that I've seen in my own life how it takes this intention. Some things that I've done that have helped me is, keep a list of things that I love doing, so I see so many moms who have been raising kids for so long and have lost touch with who they are. And then the kids leave, and then they honestly can't even tell you what they love to do. So, paying attention to this really makes me happy. I love to, for me, I love to travel. I love to speak. I love to teach. And it's that's unique to me. And everybody has kind of their own things that they love. And you might or might not feel like you're good at it, but if you like it, pay attention and keep a little list, right? Or I always say, keep your list of strengths and weaknesses, because your weaknesses can also tell you what you would like to change or improve and where some potential lies, because I think when we work on those weaknesses, we can make them strengths as well. And I even love to kind of map. I've done these maps before, just kind of writing words all over a page as they come to me of things that I love or enjoy or that are important to me, and then kind of grouping them together in categories. And then coming up with 3 words that might kind of describe what you want from your life. And I did this a few years back when I was really confused. And it was weird to come up with, to see that how easily they all fit into the 3 categories of faith, love, and joy. And to me, that was that's what I want from life. I want faith, I want love, I want joy, and that's how I want to be. So everything I do, if it fits into that, then it's helping me to find that potential. So there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of actively work on it, or like you say, kind of be thinking about it, or, focusing on the good. And, when you're ready, when you have time, making that time to sit down and hopefully write some of this stuff down so you can keep a record and keep working on it.
Yeah, you raise a really great point, because it's true. I know that there's actually, when I think back on, when I reflect now that you're saying this, when my children were really young and I was in the thick of it, that you have such a haze I had such a haze in my mind, that there were lots of ideas that I remember being like, I had a whole bunch of things around that though, but what was it? So I really love your idea of documenting it and having it, to come back to and add to. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Well, I'm big on writing, as you know.
You're big on writing and awesome at
writing. Thank you.
Yes, I second that. It is really important.
So how, if we start to see these things, we're giving some ideas of how to start to see these things, and then explain some of the idea of leaning into our true potential.
Yeah. So for me, so I love the idea of bringing on community when we come to leaning into our true potential, because when we are surrounded by people who are like-minded, it's not necessarily that everyone has exactly all the same beliefs as you, but when you have a community of people who are pursuing similar things as you, it's very nurturing, and it's very the momentum really can build, versus when you're surrounded by people you don't really have you can't really talk to about what it is you're passionate about or what you're trying to pursue. So finding community to me is so important, on so many different levels. But, it doesn't have to be that you have to abandon anybody in your life. It's just that it's really great to seek out people who you can talk to about the things that you're really interested in learning about or doing. And it just feels so good, A, which in itself is awesome, but also B, it provides you with a little bit of like support, where if you have someone who's asking you about, well, how did that go? It's sort of like accountability, which helps to move you forward a little bit. And that community piece is so important, and you can learn so much from each other. When we're in isolation, we tend to constrict, and that's really, we're not in the flow of being open and creative. When we are in community and we're open and exchanging ideas and we feel welcomed and we feel like we belong and we're loved, we're really opening up to, our true selves. And that is our true potential.
I love that. I think of that as expanding. We're kind of expanding ourselves and literally doing that by having this community, which, as you say, is so important and helping us to, learn something new or learn from each other, also to feel that support and encouragement. I think so much of our potential comes through other people's eyes and words to us, showing us like, hey, you know what, you're really good at this, or you should really, right?
Exactly.
So if we're all alone, we don't have that. And also the practical support that we need, especially as moms, to go out and then learn the new thing that we're trying to do, or start the new business we're trying to start, or become the person that we want to become, like babysitting or help with our kids, right? I mean, that's all part of it too.
Because maybe some of our listeners today can relate to, thinking, well, why can't I just figure this out on my own? I mean, there's Google, right? And YouTube. I should be able to figure this out.
Right.
And sure, there's some things you can figure out. I've repainted some furniture. I figured out it was okay. But there's other things that we really do need to come together and learn from others, invest. When we're investing in something, it's like if we join a group program or whatever support we might get, it's not that we're investing in anyone else. We're investing in ourselves. And that's a big shift as a mom, I think, to come to feel okay with investing in ourselves when we give so much all the time to our family. It's a great thing to model, I get, there's that internal conflict about, well, I want to give to my children. But when we're modeling that we are enough, that we can pursue the things we love in life, and we can, still be there for our loved ones. That's a really healthy thing. Our children are always watching us.
And I'm so glad you brought that up. I can't believe we're just about out of time here, because we could talk about this forever, but that's a really important point that, and I'm a complete believer in that. I've seen that in my own children's lives, especially as they've gotten older, and now I have college age children, to see how what I've been able to do in developing my potential and using it for good in the world has really shown them that they can do the same.
Exactly. And action speaks so much louder than words, right? They watch us.
Absolutely. They totally do.
Yeah.
So as far as support, tell us a little bit about your upcoming summit and where people can find out more about that.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. So I have a free speaker series that's coming up. And I love these because when you sign up, you get a video interview each day. And this summit's really designed for women who either have who are coaches or healers, or who have these ideas or these callings to start something, but they're not sure where to start. And if they have the business, they really they want to make it financially sustainable. They want to make it fit into their lives in a way that feels really good. And they're just not sure how to do that. So I have a panel of amazing speakers who are women, coaches, and entrepreneurs who do just that. And they're going to give us really amazing tips and, as I say, prosperity strategies for both the inner work pieces and the outer biz strategy, to help to make these things come together and work for us. Yeah. So we have quite a diverse panel, but there's going to be something for everyone within the heart-centered businesses for mamas. So yeah.
Okay. So they can find out more at your website, Susie Kilby. It's SUSYKILBY.com/prosperity strategies to find out more information on this free summit that's starting soon.
Yep.
And also to find out more about you and your website and your work, your newsletter, SusieKilby.com.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
That's great. And for everybody listening, thank you for joining us here today. Thank you, Susie, for being here to talk so briefly on such an important topic. I know we have so much more we needed to say, but hopefully the main point was driven home. And what would be one last thing you'd want to say to kind of wrap it up? A main point that you hope everybody took away from today.
Oh my gosh. I want all the women listening to know that they are enough, that they already are 100,000% enough as they are. It's all within them. They don't need to strive to do anything or to get anything. It's all a matter of coming inside and having that intimacy with self and starting there.
Love that. You are enough. We all need to hear that, moms. You are enough. And I echo that for you too. So everybody, Happy New Year. And I hope that you enjoy this year to come. I hope that you'll take what we talked about to heart and really carve out that time to start to focus on your potential, to start to practice gratitude, to start to look for your strengths and see what you enjoy and love. And we both have experienced this ourselves, and we're both here to encourage you that if you do so, you absolutely will be living that abundant life that you're so much wanting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you so much for having me on
today. Oh,
today.
my pleasure. Thanks, Susie. And for everybody else, join us again next week here on Motherhood as we continue to grow through motherhood together instead of just going through it, because it's a whole lot better to do it together and here on Motherhood Radio each week. And we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.